is the da 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 dum, da 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 dum, da da dum, and that song was actually popularized when it was done in pop for the one of the all-time classic films, which is called Saturday Night Fever. And then the other one is the Ode to Love, the Ninth Symphony. Da 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 da. Now, this is an artist with passion. By the time Beethoven composed the Ninth Symphony, he was deaf. So here is a guy composing music on a piano, but he was deaf already. So there's passion that's associated with with being an artist. If you don't have passion, you can't be an artist. Then we then went into the frustrations of an artist. One of the biggest challenges is how does an artist gather money consistently, have a stable income. He's able to look after his family, and and so the belief has always been like, oh, to be an artist, you have to stay positive and believe in your art. You have to remember that you're your biggest fan, and then somehow you have to keep the fire burning. So I've put a little diagram here that you've got somebody who's creative, and what happens is that he gets frustration because he's not recognized, he's not known, his work is not doing anything, his work is not earning money. And what tends to happen is that they get depressed, or they end up being underemployed, or they quit completely. To be underemployed is to work. For instance, yesterday I was speaking to an in-law of mine, and she said her young nephew is an Uber driver, even though he's an accountant. I said, "What happened?" He said, "Well, nobody looked after him, nobody spoke to him, nobody encouraged him, and because he got frustrated and his family had to eat, he became an Uber driver." And I was freaking out that our country is not working for us. Uber driver, an accountant, almost part qualified accountant, and people who are artists tend to quit. So I'm here to say you have to have tenacity, and you have to have an NGU spirit. That's never give up. And but when I say never give up, it's not that you pray, 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 and do nothing. It's you have to take advantage of what is out there. You have to study more, you have to read more, you have to understand what's going on. You have to become a professor, a student of your area of art. So let's move on to the next slide. And it's talking about success. Without economics, your creativity, your visioning, your desire, without economics, can never make you successful. To become a successful artist, you also have to be somebody who understands economics. You have to be somebody who can research. As they say, Google is your best friend. You have to be able to upscale your skills. I worked with a graphic designer locally here in Nigeria, and I've used him continuously for 14 years. But over the past 5 years, when he does something for me, I just take it and I'll just keep it aside, and I'll call a friend who does pretty much the same thing in the UK. I'll say, look, can you do something for me? This is what I'm trying. This is what I'm trying to get at. This is what I'm trying to. And within 2 or 3 hours, they'll send me something. Their first draft, and the first draft of what I get from my friend in the UK is so much better than what somebody has worked on for 1 week. And that's because the guy I use here is stayed. That's STAID. He has not moved forward. He has become stale. STALE. He has not freshened up himself. He hasn't updated his skills. He hasn't taken advantage of new technology. What is going on in the environment? You have to stay up to date with trends. Even if you're a painter, somebody who paints artwork, you have to try new ideas. I found out when I started following art that one of the things that art lovers do is they look at the work of an artist. Some artists will just paint, they'll sketch and then they paint over their sketch on canvas and walk away. Meanwhile, some artists, they'll paint so much, you have layers of paint. And they look at that, they say, oh, this is good work. This is high quality work. This is in depth work. They look at the work of the artist and they say, oh, no, I like this guy. He's not taking this for granted. He didn't just paint and walk away. There's something about the artwork. So you have to stay up to date with trends. You have to try new ideas. Obviously, artists, without a shadow of doubt, you have to be able to think outside the box, and you have to go with it with that courage, with that boldness. You have to do that. Understand the industry. Know who are these big players. Who are the other artists? What's your competition like? Is there an association? Should you have an association? Should you belong to an association? And then you have to be prepared. They say success only comes when you're prepared. Success comes when opportunity and preparedness get together. So you have to be prepared to take on opportunities. And above all, God has given you that brain, God has given you that mind. The original. I think there are only three people do photographic art in Nigeria. But one of them is miles ahead of the other two. He has taken advantage and he has created a new industry on his own. You have to be original. Then let me go through the next slide. It's not something that I have developed very well, but it's something that I have a lot of passion about. Art, as we defined upstairs, all those various forms of artists, painters, sculptors, musicians. We went through the list: musicians, writers, authors, graphic designers, photographers, and so on and so forth. We went through that earlier on. It doesn't matter what you are. You have to understand this language we have here called economics. You have to think of art as a business, and you, the creative person, is the CEO. If you're the CEO, you have to think in terms of marketing, sales, legal, finance, admin, and so on and so forth. You have to think like a CEO. What do I have to do legally? Is it, do I have to do patents? Do I have to do protect my stuff, my rights? How do I sell my artwork? What sales engine do I need against my artwork? How do I market myself? Is it social media? What exactly do I do? How do I get known by people? And then how do I price my artwork? How do I spend money? How much do I need? How do I get the message across? How do I fund and finance my lifestyle? And then administration. Do I keep records so I know what contracts I have? What do I have in terms of how do I look after myself? How am I a tidy person to look after all my affairs? And there's so much more, but this is just to give you an insight that you can't just think creatively. You also have to consider the things of life that make you tick and what brings out your art as a business rather than a hobby or art for itself. This is very important. And now the next two slides is really an area where I want to really encourage our artists to get involved in. The first thing is NFTs, art and cryptocurrency. NFT simply means non-fungible tokens. When you use the word non-fungible, that means that you can't exchange it. You can't replace it. If it's fungible, you can. I can buy Bitcoin today and sell it tomorrow, and buy Ethereum with it, and then buy another cryptocurrency with it. But non-tangible tokens are unique, and this is because they have information stored in them. It's all around the coding, and they hold a value, and that value is usually demand and supply set by the market, and like they can be bought and sold like artwork. It's artwork effectively. So one of the guys I was speaking about in terms of artwork, I said he's Nigerian. He's jumped into this NFT world, and he has I don't know, maybe about 60 pieces out there available to buy. So he has sold a few. He hasn't sold many. But do you know that a caricature picture sold for $69 million as an NFT?
Wow.
There's so much money you can make here. Even if you can't do it on your own, a bunch of artists can come together, create a name, share your work, put it out there, and sell. it's actually a great way to make money, but obviously it can be very frustrating if nothing happens. Yeah.
Hmm.
Sorry about that. And obviously it's also programmed. There's a way you put your artwork, or it takes some coding and all that. It takes a little bit of, you have to study around it, and you have to study around it to know more about it. But I'm sure that you will spend the time to look at NFTs to see how you can get involved there. It's definitely a place that all physical artists, people who paint, and people who sculpt, should look at. It's a very interesting area. And then I wanted to talk about art and technology. And I'm just going to ask the question, yeah, and you just answer the question. Have you heard about augmented reality? Have you heard about virtual reality? Are you involved in artificial intelligence? Do you know about Web 3.0? Do you know about creative coding? Are you aware of spatial mapping or spatial sculpting? And then also, are you involved in film? Are you involved in coding animation? Art, you have to take advantage of technology today. You can't wait and say, well, let them do what they're doing. I'm just going to keep drawing. You have to be involved in technology. And let me tell you something, no matter how old you are, it's not too late. You can just try, and you will just see how that will change your world and bring you into a world of possibilities. Okay, so that's the message I wanted to get across. I hope it's been useful. I'm now able to take questions, and I'll be able to hopefully answer them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. West. Thank you so much, sir. It's always a delight to hear you speak. I've listened to Dr. West for the past 3 4 years across different occasions, and it's always refreshing to hear him speak. So, questions aside my questions, does anyone have questions for Dr. West?
Good morning. Good morning,
Morning.
sir.
Morning.
And thank you for the impartation. I really appreciate your teaching and your insights, sir. Yeah, concerning the aspect of the art and technology, which you firstly made mention of NFT and other means of technological source of income for an artist. Yeah, concerning the NFT, I've tried to put more effort in order to know more about it, and I've read about it sometimes. But the challenges I'm seeing there is I have a platform for the NFT, but I've pushed some of my work to the NFT platform that I created. But it seems there is another way people try to probably to network or trafficate the the flow. I mean, for those works to create an awareness on the internet or thereabouts. So please, I don't know. I need more insight on this aspect of the NFT concerning to create a traffic to one's page on NFT. Thank you, sir.
Any more
Okay,
questions?
okay. Any more questions aside my own?
Go ahead.
Okay, so mine is so when you were in on one of the slides, I saw that flow chart that was talking about the artist being the talent person and then the administrative person of his or her brand. Now, I've met a lot of artists. In fact, I am one myself, and many times for artists, I found that their minds are usually really preoccupied with the thoughts of creating and basically creating, and that pushes artists into some kind of space of being introverted or being reserved, sometimes, or being socially distant from people. Now, how do you manage this? Somebody who's socially distant from others, who essentially likes to stay by himself and then still become an administrator, have to go out network and all of that for his or her brand.
So I would say that I've been asked two very fantastic questions. The first question was about NFTs, and you've tried and you haven't been successful. The world of NFTs is so vast. The fact that you have tried is exciting. It's exciting to hear. I think you have to definitely have a social media handle where you on like Instagram, where you promote some of your works. But within the NFT arena, there are many groups where they have speaking forums. You need to get yourself onto those speaking forums and just be a listener first, and at some point you can ask to be a contributor. So you can talk about maybe something that you've done, or talk about the NFT space, what you've learned. Even if it's just to talk for 5 minutes, you create awareness within the family of the NFTs, and hopefully one of your works will go. So my friend who's dived into NFTs as well has been in it for over a year and he's still learning. He's on many focus groups. If you go to his office, all he does is art. You go to his office, the internet is always on all the speakers in the office. It's always somebody's chatting about something. Half the things they say I don't even understand. But he will say at times they just say, wait, he wants to hear what they're saying. So you have to embed yourself in that world. I mean, my friend has over 60 pieces out there. He has them in different names. He's only ever sold one piece, and he sold the piece for $800. He has over 60 works on it. So it's a journey, but I tell you, you're in the right space. All you have to do is sell one where the demand just skyrockets. You make a lot of money. So I want to encourage that you don't give up. Just stay in there, put more in there. So my friend, when he sold the particular NFT he sold, he also sent the physical painting to the other party, the physical artwork to the other party. This party that bought it, he sent it, he shipped it across to him. So that's that. Okay. So we want to talk about the person, the artist who's introverted. The introverted artist needs to listen to a lecture like this, because it's by them going through these sort of lectures that they get to the point of change. If they don't go through this sort of lectures, they're going to remain introverted, they're going to remain in-house, and they're not going to be able to come out. The year 2022 speaks to artists and says, use social media, use exhibitions, use technology, use NFTs. That's what 2020 is saying to artists. It's not, you cannot use the old models anymore. The old models is very strange. The artist has to die for recognition to come forth. But you don't have to wait to die. You can use technology to make a name for yourself now. And that's what I would suggest to up and coming artists. Any other questions?
None from this end. Thank you so much, sir. Or are there more questions, anyone? Okay. Thank you so much. We're grateful. Thank you, Dr. West. It's always a delight to have you.
No problems.
All right. And I didn't mention, Dr. West is my leader.
Well, okay, folks. Thank you very much for having me. God bless you all. I'm waiting to join you when you make it. When you make it, let me know. I'll join you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Just one more thing. Can we have your slides?
Yes, I'll send them to you.
Okay, I'll be grateful. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Okay, guys. How was Dr. West's session? How was it for you? I need everybody to like actually talk now. It was short, but then how was it?
Yeah, thank you. The teaching was so insightful. At least I'm very happy it touched the technological aspect of art. At least these are the challenges we most of the artists are facing seriously, more especially the young and the upcoming artists. For us to create an awareness to the market and to even beat up with the tax in the market. So I was able to learn how to keep on and not relenting with all our effort so far. So with this now, at least I will know how to go back to my studio to work more and equip myself how to beat up with the market.
Hmm.
At least these are the challenges we've been facing, and you know, one of these things that create a kind of morale and give more more power and strength to work more is by selling some of your piece. It gives more inspiration and make you come on top. So I'm very happy with the teaching, even so far since day one to this present moment. It's a pity I was unable to meet up with yesterday class. I missed a lot, I'm very sure, but nevertheless, I'm very happy for
Mm,
this boot camp. It has been a success,
okay.
and it has been an impactful one to me personally. Thank you.
Okay, that's great. Okay, that's great. That's great. That's great. That's great, Oluwapoli. That's very, very great. How about Barnabas? How's Dr. West session for you?
Yeah, it was actually awesome, sir. It was awesome. I actually have been seeing stuffs about the art relating it with technology and what's it called, the aspect of NFT, and I've actually looked at it as something that is possible. I've seen, okay, someone talked about I think it was you yesterday, Ken Wadiogu. I didn't know he was actually into it already, but I know some other literature artists that were into it. So I've been viewing it as something that it's possible is achievable. But now my work is mostly commission, but I believe that from this class I've had a reason to step myself out and do something different.
Oh, that's great.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
that's
great.
that's great.
That's great.
Thank God that
Thank God that
we've been
we've been
impacted. Thank God
impacted
that we're moving forward. Now, we said
forward.
we're going to have an
Now, we said
interactive
we're going to
section
have an interactive section
about
about how
how
we can help
you
you and
can
how
help us.
you can
You know,
help
we can
us.
all help
We can
ourselves.
all help
Now,
ourselves.
I know
Now,
that
I
the
know
arts
that
career
the art career
from day
from
one till
day
date,
one till date,
it is obvious.
it
It's a
is
fact
obvious. It's
that
a fact that
there are people
there
who
are people
struggle
who
in this
struggle
line, in
in
the
this
line of the
line,
art
in the
career.
line of the art career.
There are
There
a
are
lot of
a
challenges
lot of
and
challenges
all of this.
and all of
What are
those.
the
What
major
are the
challenges
major
you have
challenges
found,
you have
and how do you
found, and how
think we
do
can
you
solve
think we
them
can solve them
path?
in your own path?
Does anyone want to
Does
go?
anyone want to go?
Princess, you're
Princess,
welcome.
you're
You
welcome.
missed
You missed
like a major part of
like a
Dr.
major
West's
part of Dr.
session, but
West's
then it's
session,
on
but then
YouTube. It's
it's
live
on
on YouTube.
YouTube.
You
It's
can
live
go
on
back and
YouTube. You
check the
can go
replay.
back and check the replay.
Does anyone want to
Does
share the
anyone want to
challenges
share
we
the
have in our
challenges we have
careers,
in our careers, in
careers?
our art careers?
Hello.
Yeah, please go on.
Yeah, please go on.
Yeah. Thank you. Although right from time, let me say right from the time I've been trying to walk to the professional stage and to meet up with some of my clients and to do personal works as well for exhibitions and art fairs or thereabout. What I notice generally is okay, let me set an instance like 2018, 2019. That has been an awesome year for me to to participate in some exhibition at least. And in all this exhibition between these 2 years, I sell works, I sell a lot, and this prepare me a lot for the year ahead, mostly 2020. And come to 2020, we have a pandemic as well. So the I try to strive more, with the effort that okay, I have to meet up with the demand. I have to meet up with some of my collectors to have my work, and the strength is there, the inspiration is there. So to me, what after the some of those years, what I learned or what I study generally about the art market is Right from 2022, everything just come into diversified.
No,
You know,
sorry, just a minute, just a moment. I want you to tell me the challenges you have as a person, not the general art market. The challenges you have had as a person that has cost you or not cost you to break out, or in the Nigerian term, not cost you to blow as an artist.
okay. One of the challenges is how to, number one, how to source for a good collector. Then number two, how to meet up with the demand, the present demand of what art market is calling for.
Uh,
Another thing is for you to,
let
hello,
me understand that. Let me understand what you mean by present demands.
okay, like the present day demand, what the market, mostly what I notice about the present day market is the trend of the black art of a thing, more especially in the aspect of two-dimensional art, either in graphics or in painting. When you look at some of the artworks that are being sold in thousands of dollars and thereabouts in millions of nairas, they are a kind of trend that is more or less talking about the black race, the racism or thereabouts in Africa and in Africa and beyond. So by so doing, I noticed some of the painters they try to move alongside with the trend. It's true about you see some hyperrealism artists, they look at the trend and they have to they fit towards the you know a kind of silhouettic expression in painting or in graphics of a thing that you have more. There is no real detailing in some of those paintings and the likes. So when I try to look at it that okay, these are the things that is going on, and everybody try to, art is to me is just a kind of it's ambiguous in nature. So these have been a challenges to some artists that are into that are expressionists, that are not into I mean sorry, that are impressionists rather, that are hyperrealism, they find difficult to defeat to that movement as well, but some defeat and I've been studying some and they still keep on doing their work. So a lot of challenges, that some of those are the things I personally I look at it, although it's in line with my trend of paintings over the years, but I try to move alongside. But as I told you earlier on that to meet up is a the demand sectors or thereabout is another issue as well. Thank you.
All right, perfect, perfect. How about Barnabas? What are the challenges you have had in your art career so far?
Okay, I will say number one is location actually, right? Although I
Where
know
is your location?
I used to stay in Kogi State, though currently I'm serving in Ekiti State.
All right, go on.
The thing is, okay, I know art is actually undervalued in Nigeria, but comparing to my own state, like Kogi State, the place is more like the only thing you will see it coming out is commission work, which was the major reason I was more focused on commission than because it will be hard for you to see someone who will be coming to for you to that they want to buy maybe an art you did out of what you felt can solve a problem or something else. But that I don't think I've never seen it happen. Like maybe someone just come and say they want to acquire an artwork you've made. So that actually limited me, and I made a decision that okay, for now I will focus on my commission work and be doing it and be collecting my money. Then number one is this feeling of should I say it inferior or what should I use? But okay, let me just explain it. More like I believe what people are doing, I'm not up to their level, and it's going to be hard for me to get to that level because of access. They have access to maybe different kinds of paper, different kind. If it was not even when I got to this Ekiti state here, I was drawing on cardboard paper. Cardboard paper has been what I've been using. Then later on, I got into glossy. So, but when I got to this place, I discovered that okay, there are different kinds of papers. So those things made me feel like okay, I will not find it easy to get to where they are. So I don't even find the feeling of practicing consistency. So like if you remember, I told you that first day I've always had issue with consistency with my artwork. So that has always been my major challenge actually.
All right, great. All right, great. How about Similolua? What are the challenges you have had with your own art career?
Okay, the thing is, as I mentioned to you, I'm just a beginner, so I've not really gone into it. Like,
So far, beginner, you told me beginner, you spent some months or a year or thereabouts. So far, what are the challenges you have noticed?
okay, okay, I don't really have any though for now.
All right, okay, perfect. Or maybe the challenges you might have noticed might be part of these ones that they have mentioned. So the first one was mentioned by Oluwaponle, and that's collectors. Collectors. Now, getting collectors can be a very, very hard deal, and that's the whole point of this boot camp. We do not exist in a world of our own. We do exist in a world of our own. We exist in a global cycle. We exist in a cycle that revolves. That means you are not just an artist, you're also a marketer. That means you are also a marketer. You're also somebody that essentially pushes out your brand out there. Now, getting collectors is a game. It's a game of networking. It's a game of networking. The people that surround you are the people that will determine your worth. You might not have $1 billion or $1 billion in your account, but if you have 10 people around you and all the 10 have $1 billion in their account, you are worth $10 billion. Do you understand? Because by the time you display it to them, it's easy for them to just say, okay, out of 10, let me give you $2 million for this artwork. But if all the people you have around you have just 10,000 naira, 2,000 naira, 5,000 naira, like that, your art will be undervalued. So getting collectors is basically a game of networking. Network with people of value, and then that helps you. And then we've talked about networking yesterday. You can be in your room. Dr. West talked about it today. He talked about Web3. He talked about what do they call it now? He talked about a lot of stuff basically. But network. So getting collectors is basically networking. And another way you can do is you could so on one of our own programs we promote artworks. So if your works are good and we value them, we can help you look for the market for it. In fact, that's what we do primarily. We help you market your works to places that you normally might not have access to. So network, and if you can't do that, just come to somebody like us at Artsflame, go to an art gallery, put your works out there. The challenge with galleries, or most galleries, is that your works stay dormant. Your works can be there for 3 years and there are no sales. But by the time you come to people like us, even if or not all your works sell, some of your works will go from time to time, as long as they have the quality. In fact, we don't accept non-quality jobs. So collectors, you could network, do a lot of networking, talk to people, just go into circles. So yesterday we had an art exhibition somewhere on Lagos Island. Aside the art exhibition, there was a lot of networking. People just having fun, chat, play games, talk, drinks, just basically meet people, and that's it. I tell them, hey, this is what I do, that's what I do. Oh, they start looking at, oh, okay, that's what he does. Stuff like that. So networking is the game of collectors. If you can learn to network, and I would advise that you probably go on YouTube and check how to network. Go for events, dress properly, go for events, just meet people, have a business card, and then go there, just talk to people. Hey, how are you? Go for art events. I have met some of the people that are, in fact, I met one of my friends at at our event yesterday. I didn't invite him, but he just came around. He came to do something else somewhere around, and he saw me there, and he was like, "Oh wow!" I said, "Wow," because I met him at an art event, and that's it. Network. Once you network, that network works for you. That should answer that about collectors. Now, expression with time. Now, and Vogue moves. Now, you're talking about that there might be new moves of art and all of that, and how do you keep up? Listen, an artist, that's one of the first things you talked about. Define your values. Once you define your values, you can define your style. And then once you define your style, you don't have to stay with the move. Because one thing I've studied, one thing I have noticed, and you can go and check, every Vogue move does not last. Vogue moves do not last. That's moves that they just blow a very mighty wave. They just fade away after some time. But there are people who can stay relevant across times. So let's study. Let's use musicians, for example, as what they call it, a case scenario. So people that were alive in the 2000 and long ago. How many of us know who they call Olu Maintain? There's this guy they call Olu Maintain. Does anyone know him? Yahooze.
Yes.
Oh, great. How many of us know the guy they call LD? LD the Don.
Yes.
Okay, great. Now, how many of us know Two-Face Idibia?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Now, if you were to choose between the careers of LD the Don, Olu Maintain, and Two-Face Idibia, which would you choose?
Two-Face.
Why?
Yeah, because it lasted for long. Started earlier than them, and he's still into the industry.
Exactly. It's still standing. Do you understand? It didn't just blow for a moment and just die down. Most of these guys, they blew for a moment, they shine for a moment and just went down. Most of them just go up and then just come down. But Two-Face has sustained it for a long time, and he didn't do that by changing his musical style. You can't compare what Two-Face sings with what Burna Boy does. You can compare what that Two-Face does with who else now? Who can we compare? You just can't compare with this guy that sang "You want to bam bam," you want to chill with the big boys. Do you understand? So don't be concerned about Vogue moves. You determine your style. As long as you're expressing yourself, as long as you're expressing, forget Vogue moves, because Vogue moves always fade out. They always fade out. They can birth something that can last, but the move itself will fade out. So leave that. Now, it was Barnabas that mentioned something about location. Again, networking can solve location for you. You can be in Lagos State and be in New York at the same time. In fact, I have some messages that I should attend to. I've just, because of this boot camp and then the engagements of the past few days, I've just ignored those messages from places across, not even in Africa. Do you understand? So you can be anywhere. Do not. Now I know that it was a challenge. It's basically inferiority complex. It's not that your location is limiting you. It's just inferiority. That's what's happening to you. If I'm right, you feel as if you are at a disadvantage because of your location, or because of the kind of materials you have access to, or because of the kind of way you present your art and all of those. It is basically inferiority complex. I'm not saying do bad stuff. You make sure what you do is good. Do you understand? You make sure, if you can beat your chest and say, what I did, I gave my best to this work. Your location is not a challenge. Your environment should not be a challenge. Go on Clubhouse, go on Twitter Spaces, join communities. Just join, be active, talk, discuss, just talk. Put your works out there. If you have, we might likely have an exhibition in Lagos before the end of this year. Apply to be part of the exhibition. I mean, people go for exhibition from Nigeria, they go to New York. People go from Lagos, they go to Abuja for exhibition. So it should not be a challenge. Locations should not be a challenge for you as an artist. What the undertone I sense is inferiority complex, and deal with it. Deal with it. Your work is not inferior. You as an artist are not inferior. You are what you make yourself. Don't let some kind of, now I know that at some stage some people will tell you, I use this kind of paper, I use that kind of paper, I use this kind of pencil, I use that kind of pencil, I bought my pencil for this amount, I bought my pen for that amount. Guess what? Nobody cares. And that's the truth. No one cares what you use. No one cares what you use. Is this an artwork? Is it beautiful? Does it serve my purpose? Is it valuable to me? That's the question that matters in the marketplace. It's not what pencil do you use or what pen do you use. Nobody asks you that kind of thing. They ask you, what's the inspiration behind this artwork? What inspired you to draw? Nobody cares what you used. And so forget paper, forget cardboard. In fact, you can do on A4 sheets. If that's the standard you want to maintain, no problem. Create a standard for yourself, stay on that standard, and you go. So don't feel inferior about your work. Your work is as original as you are. So if you make yourself feel like you are not original, then your work will not be original. So that's just the thing. I think that's an undertone of inferiority. Believe in yourself, believe in your art. And then you talked about materials. Again, I sense that is part of there is a deep undertone of inferiority there, and it's not just that you have inferiority complex, it's how people have made you feel. Maybe other artists, maybe the environment you came into. Oh, have you not bought artworks like this? Have you not done this and stuff? No. All of that is just inferiority. Guys, put your works out there. Put your works out there. Before we round up this boot camp, I think we should be able to round up a little bit after 12. Get your works out there. Get your works out there. Don't be selfish with your work. Your work is not for you. It is for the world. Remember, you are creating for the world, not for yourself. What we are creating is not for ourselves, it's for the world. Get your work. Advertise on Facebook, advertise in the NFT space, on Instagram, advertise in the NFT space, advertise with Artsflame. Just get your works out there. Let it go. Because listen, the work is not for you. The person that the work is for, they won't see it until you get it out there. Don't keep it in your room. Go for exhibitions, go for art contests, go for art events, go for you could talk to a local restaurant around your place. You could talk to, oh, I just have some artworks and they're lovely. Can I come and put them on display? Perhaps you have an event and stuff. But the point is, make sure your works go out. Don't let them stay in the comfort of your room. Get it out there, because out there is where the real money is, and that's why a lot of artists quit. You find that a lot of artists are in financial challenges, like Dr. West said. That said, I hope that this bootcamp has added up to your career. You can look up, even if you never have to contact us at Artsflame anymore, you can look back and say, man, this bootcamp was really a career changer for me. I hope that it has added to your career. I hope that it helps you to become a better artist, and I hope it helps you to head up to the goal we have of turning Nigeria to the World Art Center. Thank you so much for being a part of this bootcamp. If you don't mind, if you wouldn't mind, if it would not be too much of us to ask of you, please record a video, a 1 minute video, a 30 seconds video, a 15 seconds video. If it would not be too much to ask of you, record a 15 seconds video, send to me or to JJ on the WhatsApp group. No, don't send to the group, send to me or to JJ, and then we can put up on our channels. Tell us the things you have learned about this bootcamp, then we'll put up on our Instagram and Facebook and Twitter pages, and then we'll also tag you when we post. And please do that. That's the least we could ask of you. Please do that and then send across. Thank you so much, guys.
All right, thank you so much, sir. God bless you, sir.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Right,
You're welcome.
Sorry if I again the slides yesterday and today.
Yeah, sure. We will send those. We will.
All right.
And then this session is being recorded. It's live on YouTube. We'll send the link. So if you need to go through again, I will probably send the link to the group, and you can go through any session, any part of the session you want to go through.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, guys, I wish you all the best in your career. Thank you so much. It's Yemi signing out from this camp.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. All the best. Man, thank God.